first round of loans through the Paycheck Protection Program faced a lot of backlash when it came to transparency, especially with companies that did not need the money receiving it anyway. That's why we launched the Rebound Detroit to help you get through this crisis. And tonight, we push for more transparency to make sure small business owners are getting help to stay afloat. The federal government has been pushing out trillions of dollars to try and stabilize the economy.
The biggest bailout in U.S. history deserves the most transparency in U.S. history.
Watchdog groups like the U.S. Public Interest Research Group have been calling for real-time transparency. And now, at least one federal authority, the Federal Reserve, says it will answer that call. On a monthly basis, it will begin publishing the names of those corporations receiving assistance under its emergency programs.
Honestly, it was pretty incredible that the Federal Reserve agreed to this level of disclosure. I'm hoping that that level of transparency will be carried forward to all the agencies in the CARES Act.
The Fed's move comes amid growing concern around the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program. A week ago, reports revealed at least a handful of large publicly traded companies had received PPP loans. The fast food chain Shake Shack was one of them and was one of the first to return the money, $10 million in its case. But a data analytic company, Fact Squared, went through Securities and Exchange Commission filings. It found far more large companies received PPP loans than initially thought.
It had nothing to do with them disclosing, so to speak, with the SBA or anything else. It was just going through another agency where they had to disclose to investors that we're taking this money. And that's how we pick it up.
Fact Squared found at least $900 million in forgivable small business loans went to more than 200 major companies like the Los Angeles Lakers and a luxury hotel chain. The hotel chain was able to treat each of its hotels as an individual business and applied for 117 loans, getting at least $40 million so far. The hotel chain says it plans to keep the funds, while the Lakers and more than a dozen other businesses have committed to returning their PPP loan money, $116.8 million.
The fact that some companies saying, oh, oops, sorry, our bad, and that gets back to the purpose of transparency and why this type of information should be released.
It doesn't do us any good 3 months down the line to have found out this list of companies. That money would have already been spent. It's because this transparency happened so quickly that we're able to course correct. Those companies can give that money back, and the Treasury can readjust its rules moving forward. So that way this money actually helps those that it was intended to help.
Fact Squared was only able to find less than 1% of the companies that took PPP loans, but its report is now being used as a real-time example of why more transparency is needed. The Treasury Department has announced every company that got more than $2 million will be fully audited and face costly penalties if they should not have received the loans. The Treasury Department is also giving companies an out, saying if they return the money by May 7th, they can avoid that. So, here's the Rebound rundown. Hopefully, companies that should not have received the PPP loan will now give it back. This may open an opportunity for other small businesses still in need of the loan. And finally, let's hope the May 7th deadline and costly penalties will speed the recovery along. Now, the SBA has not yet agreed to release the information around all businesses that receive a PPP loan, but we will continue to dig for that information. Meantime, if you have a story you think we should cover here, please email us at therebounddetroit@WXYZ.com. Dave?